Hello, you're welcome to Gist Arena. All we do is and gist. We discuss topical, trending, and exciting topics, and we have fun while at it. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy each thrilling moment of gist, and gist. Hello, welcome to Gist Arena. All we do here is gist, and gist. I remain your favorite gister, Cynthia. I don't know what the other ladies were on about the last time. Anyways, I am your favorite gister. And we are here today on another episode to discuss a juicy topic. And we have two guests with us, and you will know why we have two guests with us very soon. The topic for today is steamy. He's removing steam. Anyways, the first guest that we have is Omoyele Temitope. Temitope is the CEO of SDG Creamy Cakes and gift items. She bakes pastries, and she also helps source for gift items. If you want to patronize her, please go check her out on Facebook at SGD Creamy Cakes and on Instagram at SGD _ creamy _ cakes. A trial will definitely convince you. And our second guest today is no other person than Oga Shiju Ade. I mean, after the last time, it was only just a little while before he was going to be back. We definitely had a lovely time having him amongst us, and he definitely also had fun whilst with us. And so we said, you know what, come and let's discuss, because the topic for today is steamy, is juicy, like I said earlier. Just as a recap, Ogashiju is a public servant. He is an health enthusiast and a community development strategist. He helps families in underserved communities adopt a healthy lifestyle, making healthy lifestyle choices while getting access to improved health services. So welcome, Temitope. Welcome, Ogashiju. We are happy to have you here in our midst. Now, on today's episode, I have just one of my co-gisters here with me, Ayotunde Adenike. He's unavoidably absent, but I'm sure she's looking around somewhere. So, hey, Adenike. So, hello, Gaki. How are you doing? Just you're doing very well. This episode, we're going to be talking about sex. Yep, sex in marriage. So, I'm not talking about it with a boyfriend or girlfriend or no. We're talking about it within marriage. Before we delve into the topic at hand, before we going deep into it, I'd like to ask, when it comes to sex, with your spouse, your husband or wife, do you believe in giving it, anywhere and everywhere? I think traditionally, or I don't know, so it's widely ingrained or believed that it should only happen in the matrimonial bed. So if it's not on the matrimonial bed, I don't know. That's just what sort of I think marriage is relegated to: sex in the matrimonial bed or on the matrimonial bed. What do you think about having sex, in other locations, around the house, in the hotel, spicing things up? What do you think about that? So over to you, our guest.
I'm glad to be back again on the Gist Arena. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to share and gist. So I love interesting conversations, and this is just one of them. Sex within marriage. Well, I was going to ask myself whether I was qualified to talk about sex. Well, why not? Why not? I am qualified, not by certificates. Okay, so I'm married, and I think that I do qualify to talk about sex within marriage. As for whether sex should be had anywhere and everywhere, first of all, I wanna believe that there are different reasons why people have sex. So even in marriage, some people have sex just for the purpose of procreation, and when they are not thinking of having children, it may be all boring, 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 boring to the end. Well, for some families, it's a different ballgame entirely, where sex is basically for pleasure and it's fun, fun, fun. In some families, it's for either procreation or for pleasure. So uh, wherever you fall in amongst these three categories that I've listed, what everyone would admit is that sex is a very, very important part of marriage, and a lot of marriages collapse just because there's something wrong with sex. Either it's not enough, either one party has issues with their sex drive or something. So as for where it should be had, well, traditionally there is this tag of matrimonial bed, matrimonial bed, matrimonial bed. But let me ask, what exactly is a matrimonial bed? So if I decide to have sex in my kitchen, will my kitchen automatically become the matrimonial bed for that day? Or probably in the bedroom or the toilet or wherever it is. So as for me, sex should be one of the things that spices up the marriage. Sex is one of the things that brings life onto the marriage. So imagine if all you do is wake up, have a few gist, eat, go to work, come back, and it's all the same life all over and over again. And then when you're about having sex, it's just restricted to one corner of your house. For crying out loud, what's wrong with the other part of the house? Is it like when you have sex in your bedroom or in your kitchen or in your sitting room or even on the dining table? Is it like anything will happen to you? Is it like you have lost hold of your marriage when you do that? So, sex for me is an every time, everywhere thing. So, whether you choose to have it anywhere, it's your choice. It's your choice. It's not a taboo as far as I'm concerned. So, as for me, sex anywhere, everywhere, I'm good to go.
Thank you so much for having me on this platform. I'm so grateful. Kudos to you, ladies. You are really doing a wonderful job here. Thank you. To the topic. Do we really need to spice up our sex life in marriage? Yes. So, hey, it's even a capital yes, I must say. We need to spice it up. You don't have to be boring. No, we don't have to. Gone are the days when our forefathers believed in missionary styles alone. But things have changed. New trend, new design, new position, and we need to explore it. We need to try it out. And it shouldn't be bedroom all the time. No, it will be boring. The chances are there when you have been married for a few years, like you and your spouse, you would have been used to a particular routine. But you need to change it, you need to spice it up, you need to step up your game. You shouldn't be bedroom all the time. Your bedroom closet is not there for you to use. Your kitchen cabinets, your dining room, your backyard. So if there's no one around your house, you can use that. It doesn't have to be your house alone. You can take out time. Go to your town. Take your children to your mom or dad place. Let's go and stay with their grandma. Go and go to hotel. Change, change environment. Change it. It really helps marriage. I just tell people most of this broken home, if you're able to trace it, comes from sex. When your sex life is not superb, there are chances that things begin to fall apart in the marriage. So I believe we must spice up our sex life. Thank you.
Oh shit. Married people on fleek. Hi everyone, I Cynthia, and I throw a salute to Ogashiju. You're welcome to Gist Arena once again, and Madam SGD. Thank you for coming to Gist with us today. Cynthia, if you ask me, now who I go ask? I actually thought that I would probably, sit this one out and allow our guests to do justice to this part of the discussion. But when I heard them like this, I said, myself, I have to put mouth. I mean, Madam SGD, did I actually hear you say backyard? Did I hear right? Oh my Lord. Well, I'm taking notes. I mean, bedroom closet, kitchen cabinet, dining table. My, not to comment. Wow, very interesting points there. And I do agree with them. I actually think that it will be some type of backward thinking in this age and time for anyone to say that sexual activities between a married couple should be restricted to the bedroom or to a particular style. I mean, you call it matrimonial bed, right? And it's their matrimonial home. So every corner of that home is matrimonial, Shibi. So they have the liberty to get intimate anywhere and everywhere they deem fit. I don't think that it's an issue that we should even start flogging, because I mean, get down. I mean, it's part of your married life. It's part of the activities that we go on in marriage. So why restrict it to a particular place? All that I think all that idea went with the dark age. Now Oju, you have opened, like eyes have opened. Oju Tila. So and then I mean, what's the big deal there? It's what you would do anyway as a married couple share. So why can't you just, I mean, do it anywhere? Just do the do. It doesn't have to be in a particular place. Just like people don't necessarily, eat on the dining table anymore. Now, you have some people, they will eat in their living room. Some can even carry the food to their room. Some will sit in the kitchen and eat their food. At least, I mean, I know people who do that. Even me, I eat anywhere in my house. So why should such activities that should be a natural thing between a couple? Why should it be restricted to a particular place in their matrimonial home? Well, that the backyard thing, yes, sounds gang, but make sure, yeah, I mean, someone is not looking at you from from the top part of their own house. So if you have neighbors who are living in story buildings, make sure they're not looking into your backyard and see what you're doing. All right. Well, that's just that about that. Thank you.
Rishi. See these people that are talking, we see them now. They will be doing like they cannot finish one wrap of pap. They are the ones that are swinging from left to right, from corner to corner, doing all the doables, and all every nook and cranny of the house. Well done, sir. Well done, Maz. Well done. I hear you now. But everybody is saying, corner, everywhere in the house, from the kitchen to the backyard. Well done. Hope you guys disinfect your house, or if I'm coming to visit you, I should just bring my own disinfectant and just disinfect everything before I touch it. Anyway, that was just by the way. Now I am wondering, how do you manage your kids?
how do couples manage their kids? I mean, if you guys are saying do everywhere and every, I would think that there would be some sort of spontaneity to that. When you have kids, we all know kids are always everywhere. How do you treat them? Does it mean that you relegate sexual activities, to nighttime? Is that wouldn't that be like a routine? And doesn't that negate what we're trying to say, that spice things up, do things differently? And I mean, I'm just wondering. Help me clarify how do you manage your kids, for a couple that has children?
Thank you so much, Prof, for that. Like you rightly said, food can be eaten anywhere in the house now. Gone are the days whereby we stick to the dining, but things have changed. Although some people still prefer to use their dining. So it says with sex. Sex doesn't have to be in your bedroom. I still maintain that. It doesn't have to be. And that backyard stuff, I was just joking anyway. So you need to watch your neighbor so that they will not start videoing you. And before you know it, your video will be all over the internet. So we need to take caution. And to your question, Cynthia, wow. I know it is not easy. When you're a parent, it's hard to find time to have sex. I'm telling you, there's a lot to do both day and night. It's not always easy. When you have children around, especially grown-up children, what you normally do is this. You lock them up in the room, turn on the music. Turn the music on is very, very important, to distract them from the noise that will be coming from you, the sound that will be coming from you. That kind of sound, Children must not hear that. And you need someone trustworthy to watch the kids. When you have a trustworthy neighbor, you can just take them out just for a few minutes, do them, pick them up, later when you're through. So I still maintain it. We have to spice it up. Children should not disturb the do. They should not. You need to catch fun. You need to catch that fun. Thank you so much.
SGD Mama. Baby la hot. Baby all cool. Oh. You're really serving this thing hot at the moment, and I seem to like the way you're serving it. It's getting really interesting. Okay, let me drop the jokes a bit and get a bit serious. So you raised a point about having your children locked up in the house when you want to do the do. Well, to an extent, I kind of agree with that. But what do you get your children doing is one of the things that you have to consider. So for somebody like me, what I propose is that if you have children who enjoy games, who enjoy to watch the cartoons or something interesting, have them engaged with what they enjoy doing. So probably you have a child who enjoys watching cartoons. Put the best cartoon for this child and allow the child to enjoy him or herself. So while that happens, you can now move out of that scene to enjoy yourselves. So you may need to create a barricade, not necessarily locking up the child in the house or in the room. You may need to create a barricade. Let's say your house has a pavement or a passage from the living room to the bedrooms or something. So you could lock up in between so that the child has enough space around the house without having to move close to where exactly you are at that moment. So where you are could be your kitchen, it could be anywhere. So you can just have your thing. So another thing is, it gets interesting when you have to watch left, right, and center to see whether any of your children is coming. Yes, some may think this is stupid, but who says that couples should not have quickies? Like, quickies are very interesting. Like, it's fun when you have to watch to say, oh, I hope any of them is not coming. So, But to be on the safer side, your quickie could happen when your child or children are asleep. It may not necessarily be at night. Sometimes you put them to rest in the daytime to say, okay, come and have your siesta, rest a bit. You kind of make them sleep or rest. So while that happens, you can now take your time out to enjoy yourselves. So some of the children may wake up at that time and start looking for you around the house. Some of them are just stubborn when you put them to rest. After a while, they come out and start looking for you. You don't have to lock up. At that point, when you have put them to rest or to sleep, anywhere you catch up with yourselves, probably in your kitchen, in the bedroom, you could just do something quick, and then while you're doing that, you are very observant to know whether any of them is coming. So if any of them is coming, you know how to quickly. So I know you get what I'm saying better. So these things there's no single rule to all that sick. So one thing may work for a family and they may not work in another, but it's very essential that one has to explore different opportunities and not make your sex life a boring one or not make it die completely. So one of the challenges that makes it difficult for a lot of couples to have sex is that they wait until the night to make it all happen. So sometimes you may have to take your children on holidays to your grandma or your grandparents per se. You may have to take them on holidays like a week, let them go on holidays so that you can have all the time to yourselves. Sometime the idea that SGD shared about having them with a neighbor, I really don't fully subscribe to that idea, especially because we don't know what the neighbor might be up to. Some neighbors might be physically or sexually abusing our children, and we may not be aware, simply because they may even threaten them not to open up. So we just have to be careful with all this while we try to explore and have the best of our sex life as couples. So there is no single rule fixing all, but always enjoy yourself.
Ooh, this place don't dey eat up. Cynthia, you dey feel the heat. I dey gbadun how our guests they drop the gist with plenty sauce. Very interesting. Okay, so I've always wondered how married couples, who live in confined spaces, let's say a one-bedroom apartment or even a single room. Okay, I mean, some people live in face me, I face you situations. I've always wondered how they go about getting down intimately without exposing the children, to things that they shouldn't be part of. And just as soon as Ogashiju mentioned quickie, I was like, yes, that is it. Okay, because I just feel that they could, people in such situation could master the art of quickie, and get maximum satisfaction from that, because their living arrangement, does not afford them the opportunity, to have sex in various places, that is different parts of the house. And it also does not afford them that opportunity to be as private, as they should be. So, well, quickie it is. All right. And, I also feel that, all the planning that may need to go into it, they need to seize opportunities, right? So probably, the children are out playing, they quickly grab that opportunity. They may need to plan to take showers together, maybe in the evenings or early in the morning and stuff like that. Or maybe they are, somewhere in some place and they see opportunity, they quickly grab it. Of course, not in public glare, but I'm just thinking that, the fact that they would need to sneak around, do all that stuff, that might, of course, bring the needed adrenaline. Okay, and we'll just spice it up because it makes it, adventurous in a way, and that'll be, all the spice that they would need, to enjoy their sex life without having monotonous, experiences. So, Ogashiju, thumbs up for you, for that mention. I say, hey, a lot of quickie. All right. I don't got our guess. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I'm just here smiling as as you guys are talking. We go from dropping the kids off, at the neighbor's house to strolling into your backyard, looking up and down, ensuring no one is looking at you, to having a quickie, to engaging the children. It's okay. I'm just gonna be, taking notes. In fact, now well done. SDG, well done. Gashiju, well done. I carry hand for the two of you. Now well done. Ducky, okay. It is well. Anyway, so something came on social media, right? That got a lot of people lending their thoughts and their opinions, when it came to couples and their romance and spicing it up and all of that. So actually it was a lady that sent this hide my IDs and scenarios to someone on Instagram. Something had happened to her and she needed our opinions. And I'm just gonna read what she sent and then we'll take it up from there. Here she wrote, my husband came to my office unannounced today, asked me to tell my security not to allow anyone in from 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. I thought he wanted to talk about something important, but no, he wanted sex. I told him it was my working hours and that I couldn't. He got pissed and tried forcing himself on me. I screamed for help and I give him sex at home when he wants it. We do not have any real sex issues pending, so I don't know what exactly came over him today. When help finally entered my office, he was naked. He got dressed in their presence and then removed his wedding ring and threw it on the floor. He is not home yet. I guess this was evening. He has not called me since this afternoon. What do I do or say to him when he returns home? In fact, there's just so many ways to, um, start dissecting this. But the other time when we were talking about, sleeping and everything, we didn't mention office space. What do you think about having sex in the office? If you say yes to it, are there specific rules guiding the office? Secondly, what do you think about marital rape? Is there any such thing as marital rape? When the husband demanded for sex, in her office, and she said she didn't want it. Did she have any right to deny him, sex when he requested for it, even though, he was in her office? Lastly, what would you advise this lady? Then we take it from there. I'm waiting to listen. I'm waiting to listen from you guys.
This one get as a bill. Well, I'll say that while, we have said that married couples can get down anywhere, I also think that there is nothing wrong with applying, some level of moderation, especially because this is a work setting. It's a work environment. And I would think that in most corporations, organizations, sex in the office will probably be, regarded as some form of misconduct, right? It will be frowned upon. It won't, it's not something that is encouraged. So, well, for me, I think that, maybe a couple might want to, just keep that place as, a, how do you call it now? A no-go area, yeah, something like that, or no sex zone. Okay, because in that context, I mean, if it's misconduct, if it's considered a misconduct, that means you are actually doing something wrong, right? If you do it. And I think that, except it's your own business and you're the orga and everything, and you can do whatever you like. But if you're an employee in an organization, you have to conduct yourself, appropriately. So for me, I think, I mean, it's not if the office area or setting is out of bounds, that is not too much, to, I mean, ask, so to speak. Okay. But then that man said, I'm wondering, did he take something, or, I mean, what was going on with him? Because even if that was something they had both, contemplated at some point in time that they would like to explore, you can't just appear, in somebody's office and say, oh yeah, let's have sex. Because, hey, it can even, put his wife in some kind of trouble, coming like that without her having prior knowledge, about it and everything. At least, yes, we know, be spontaneous and blah, 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 but different situations, warrant different approaches, right? So this is a work environment. You don't just go to somebody's office and say, oh yeah, let's do, without at least telling the person, beforehand, to say, babe, this is what I'm thinking, and stuff like that. So I think it was wrong to have just come to our office without how, knowledge or understanding between both of them that they would be doing something like that. That's strike one. Now the lady says, oh, I'm sorry, this is my office, and I'm wondering, I mean, we don't have sex issues, she said, I mean, they don't have any pending sex issue, right? So, like, she herself, she was wondering, she didn't understand, and she was trying to kind of like, you know, express that to the husband, and what does he do? He wants to force her. Uncle, how far now? That one, now strike two. I mean, you don't. What's that? So because your spouse says, oh, they can't do something that you're asking of them at that moment, you would rather force them. You can't, calm down, try to understand their point of view, probably find a time to discuss it with them and tell them that it's something that you would really love to explore. And then, both of you find, some middle ground and, come to some sort of agreement. You can't do that. You have to, in your wife's office now, rape her. Or, I mean, so that's why I'm wondering, probably it took something, because, I mean, it can't be ordinary. As in, it's something must be wrong with him. I'm sorry, because I'm wondering. Okay, let's even say, you have congealed, the thing catch you, you quickly, run to your wife's office, and then she's now saying, hey, I mean, I don't have that time now. And then the next thing you think to do is to force yourself on her. Or what if you got there and she was in a meeting or something like that? I mean, he behaved like he was out of control. He behaved like, his libido cannot be controlled or something like that. And for me, that was just disgusting. That's the truth. I think he did not try at all. So 2 strikes there. Now, So the wife had to scream, "Egg, baby, oh." Okay. Oh my God. Well, I can understand why she screamed. Not that had to scream. Maybe she could have, done something else. But then we don't know the situation. So probably that was the only thing she could do at that time to get herself, away from that situation. And oh my, so people came in and then they found, they saw the man's nakedness. Oh, poor him. Oh, that's such a shame and such an embarrassment. I feel for him. I actually I actually do. Oh wow. Okay. So I think that the woman can apologize to her husband, not because she did anything wrong. I don't think she did anything wrong. Actually, I don't. Because I don't think that because someone is your spouse, you have to, say yes every time they come with a proposition. If you're not, if you're not willing, sorry, or ready to do what they're asking of you at that particular point in time, for one reason or the other, you would have your reason, right? Especially since, they didn't even discuss it with you ahead of time. So you may have your reservations and all of that for whatever reason. I think that what a reasonable spouse would do is to at least try to understand your reason, and then, try to also, like Cynthia would always say, put forth their strong, reasons. Okay, so that, it's all about communication. You guys will communicate about it, you talk about it, and then you find a common ground. That's how it's done. So I don't think she did anything wrong by saying, babe, this is my office, I don't think I want to do this, and everything like that. So the guy should have just calmed down, and then maybe when, she gets home later in the day, they can they can sit together and talk about it, and then he can explain to her, his desires and all of that, and then they can work around it actually. But to force himself on her, yeah, that was just God. So yeah, I don't think she did anything wrong, but because of the embarrassment he suffered, she could, just apologize, just to douse the fire, to calm the situation, and of course, to massage his frayed ego now, because I understand that that's a very serious embarrassment. So because of that embarrassment, I think she could just apologize to him. But you see that throw ring away and all of that. Geez, I just detest those kind of, tantrums that some adults throw. So you went to somebody's office without telling how, and then you came and you say, oh yeah, let's do, and then she's trying to explain that, and the next thing you now want to do is to rape her in her office. Is it you that they're supposed to slap you well for that kind of thing safe. So I don't think he has would I say right now to throw ring away. Come off it. What's all that? I beg, let's sit down somewhere. Anyway, I hope I hope they were able to solve their issue or settle their matter. It is well. Oh, and you asked about marital rape. Well, yeah, I think there is such thing as marital rape. I mean, your wife or your husband might not be in the mood, again, for different reasons. So why would you force yourself on them? Although I don't know, but it is well, sure.
Cynthia, where do you get this gist from? In fact, listening to this gist, I was wondering whether it could be real or this is a fairy tale. But I know definitely that this is real, and it's one of those things that one would not but wonder how on earth these things happen. So how does a man go to the office of his wife unannounced, and then all he thinks of is how to have sex with her in the office, and he does not even care whether she is comfortable with it or not? So now she's not, and he's trying to force herself on her. So one thing should be made clear, regardless of our relationships, whether it's a relationship between a husband and a wife, or between friends, any kind of relationship at all. A no is a no. So there's no other language for a no. There's no other way to explain what no is. No means no. So if a man is trying to have sex with his wife, especially at a place where she's not comfortable with, in an awkward place like an office, and she says no, in fact, at that point, I don't think she needs to explain the reason for her no. I think the guy should just respect her for who she is, and then take the no for an answer and back off at that moment. So later on, the guy could be more interested in trying to get why she has taken that position, and then if she feels that she owes him that explanation, then she should go ahead. But I don't think that it is her responsibility to give explanations for saying no to him at that point when it happened. So as for whether rape could happen amongst couples, yes, in fact, rape amongst couples is very common, and it's often overlooked because many people believe that once you are together as a couple, then you have all the rights to one another, and then the other person has no rights over their bodies any longer. This obviously is not true, as even if in many of our cultures in Nigeria we support this kind of thing, and then we assume that once you get married you lose control over your body. The man now went further to remove his ring and stoned it out just because the wife has not given him the opportunity to have sex with her. Okay, well, it may not be because of that, probably because he felt embarrassed because some of the people in the office had to see him naked and the likes. But who caused the embarrassment in the first place? Are we going to blame his wife for this kind of embarrassment? Obviously, no. He caused the embarrassment upon himself. But going further to clear away the ring, I think that was a way of passing a statement to the wife. Probably he's no longer interested in the marriage. What would have come upon this boss' head? Because why was he acting like an animal? Because if all he could do was to try and force himself on his wife in a public place, and then the wife resists him, and his response was to throw away his wedding ring, then I think the guy obviously must have been on drugs. Maybe the wife knew that he was on drugs, and she herself did not say while she was passing these gist for advice. But whether she knew or not, the guy most likely would have been on drugs, because I don't think anybody in their right senses would act in that manner. So that guy was totally wrong for having done that. But for somebody like me, for somebody like me, I really do not think that it is the ring that signals what the wedding is. Like, that wedding band is not actually what ties the couple together. So what ties them together is in the vows that they have made, and not in the ring. So whether he decides to wear the ring or not, I don't think that is a signal of an end to the marriage until either of them decides that they want to break that marital vow that they have made to themselves. So if this man gets back home, how should the wife react? What should she do? Well, because we find ourselves in this kind of situation, and then we are trying to mend things, we're trying to put things right, we are trying to make things the way they should be. I'll go with what Ewa has said, that the wife should just try and beg the man, not because she has committed any offense, because obviously she did not commit any offense. Well, but just because the man felt a kind of embarrassment because of what happened as a result of the noise that she made, she should just try and appease the man and make him understand that yes, what happened to an extent, she felt bad about it. It shouldn't have happened, and that she's sorry. Well, while she says that, she should still be firm in letting the man know how far he has exceeded his bounds. Because when you say somewhere is an office, well, for some people they find it convenient doing the weirdest things in their office. But if you are in an environment where this is not something that you can do, then why should your spouse make you do it? So I think she should be firm in letting the guy know why she has taken a stand, and then she can now be sorry for how the stand has affected her, not the stand per se, but how the resulting actions have affected her, has affected him in this instance. So the man make the man just calm down. Because if the man leaves his house and then I bet which kind of girl self they hold the man. This matter is tire you apart.
This matter actually tigely. What was that man thinking? The man actually went so far. Why going to your wife place to work to ask for such? Abba, there's a phone. You should have just called her. My dear, I need you. Can you come down to the house? Or can we meet at so place? Not to our office, not to our place to work. That's totally wrong. There's a better way of doing that, no? There's a better way of handling that, not to the place to work. And your wife is being paid for the work she's doing over there. So you coming down to the office to take part of the company time is tantamount to cheating. So that means you want to cheat the company. So that's totally wrong. And the wife calling on the colleagues for them to come and steal the husband package, that's way too bad as well. She should have just walked out of the scene. She doesn't need to scream or start shouting. No, she doesn't need that. She should have just walked out of that office and let the husband be there. By the time it's true, by the time his body comes down, he will leave now. He will leave. So, but then I wouldn't blame the wife too much. I would blame the husband. It really went too far. I can't take that as well. But now Prof has rightly said, she can just say sorry just to let things solve and let the whole matter just go down. So she just say sorry. That's by the way. And on the issue of rape, marital rape, no. Wow. I used like they usually tell us, men's body needs sex like 5 times in a week. They can go on like that every day, asking for it, or let me just say 4 times in a week. But we women, we prefer to have it once in 3 weeks. Even some women even prefer a month self. They will be okay with that being touched for a month. But men want it more than women. So that is where we need communication. It is a place for communication, for us to balance things, for us to bridge the gap. I don't need it, but he needs not. But we need to come to agreements. We need to come to reach, how do we call it in economics, equilibrium, so that we balance it up. There's a need for us to come together to communicate. If you need your wife, there's a way you prepare her that our body will adjust to the new system. For instance, you need her in the evening. Start sending that message, text message, romantic one, giving her a call, Those things will ginger her, we cheer her up that no, my husband needs me in the evening, so I need to package myself for him. Not that we just come after the day work, just come the evening, bam, like that, I need you, bam, let me do it. No, it doesn't work that way. We women, we like to be prepared for it. We like to sweet talk before the body will come, except when during the ovulation period that the body will always require for that. But apart from that, you need to package the thing very well. It's not enough for you to just come back. No, let's do it. No, it's totally wrong. So men needs to communicate this to their wife. When you need her, let her know on time.
In fact, I couldn't agree more with you on your line of thoughts. The husband definitely had it coming. And like you already pointed out, the office is an official place. And except you are this, just like Mayotunde said, except you are the CEO or you're the owner of the whole business, I don't think that you should even have any business doing such. And even if you want to do it, it should be consensual. So, both of you should agree to doing it before you just show up. And when it's not as if it's even your house, you just show up and you're demanding. And she has every right to say no, And also agree with marital rape. I believe that marital rape is a thing. However, I don't think that the Nigerian law covers it, because I've heard of situations where some wives have gone to report at the police station that their husbands maybe were raping them or wanted to rape them and all of that, and then the policemen would laugh at them. Now, this is not to say that it doesn't also happen the other way around, which is the female, the wife raping the husband. It does. It's just that the husband raping the wife is more prevalent than the other one. And I wanted to touch on something, which was the issue of why she shouted or why she screamed. And I wanted to, for me, I liken it to when I am being tickled. So I am ticklish, right? And if my friends or my friends know that, so when they come to me, they want to just tickle me to play with me and everything. I know that they are playing with me. I can see their hand coming. I know that it's going. They're going to come and tickle me, and I would be physically saying, "Oh no, 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 don't do it," and they still come. And when they come, not because I want to out them or because I want to, just let everyone know, I find myself screaming because it is literally what I don't want. I don't want anybody to tickle me. I feel like it's just reflex action. That's what I think. So this is to SDG that was saying that that she shouldn't have screamed. Maybe she should have walked out. I also think that a man that has come and told her to lock the office and he wants to have his way. I would think that he can physically restrain her, so maybe the walking out may not have been possible, but that's just by the way. I'm just trying to say maybe why she would have screamed. It might have been a reflex action, the screaming bit. Now I want to touch on something that Sashidra Ade said. He talked about the throwing of the ring and how for him it doesn't really count that he believes more in the vows that was the vow that was exchanged between the couple. Now, I want to ask, why exactly? Do you share the same thoughts with Mr. Shijuade on the significance of the ring? Because I'm wondering, if it is not significant, why then do we exchange rings? I'm not even talking about like wearing the rings, physically. even if you don't wear it after, but if you wear it after, and in this kind of situation, something happened, and he took off the ring and threw it, I would think that is really, really significant. He knows the significance. That's why he's sort of using that as a sort of punishment or communication. And like he rightly said, maybe he's done with it. But I'm just curious on the significance of the ring, because even if you do court weddings also, they also exchange rings there. So I would think it's quite significant. But this kind of thought that Mr. Chijoaje brought is what I'm wondering. What do you think about the exchange of rings and its significance to the marriage? If yourself and your spouse were having an argument and he or she took off the his or the ring and then threw it at you, what would that mean for you?
Well, I think that a wedding band is simply a symbol, to represent the commitment that two people make to each other. All right, just to show that, oh, we have come together to commit our lives to one another in marriage. And if you really look at it, it's not everyone that uses ring. In some churches, they use Bible. And if you really look at our grandparents and all of that, before the advent of ring and stuff, they got married. Probably there was another symbol that they used to represent, their vows to each other or what have you, but definitely not wedding band. And I mean, would that negate their marriage? Of course not. So yeah, like Ogashi just said, the significance, okay, is really in the vows that are made, not necessarily the symbol. Again, the ring is just, a sign or a symbol, to depict that, oh, this is who we are, this is what, we vowed to be. Okay. And, just like when you give somebody an engagement ring, it's a symbol to say, oh, I've committed to this person, to marry them. Some people even get promise ring, Again, the ring is simply, a symbol, just to show that, oh, okay, I'm making a promise to you. So you could actually use anything to symbolize whatever commitment, that you are making. But of course, that's the will I say, I don't want to call it trend, but okay, that's the symbol that is recognized, okay, at least even legally, as a representation of two people committing to one another in marriage. But the significance is really in the vows that are made, because these days now, you see people with their wedding bands on, they have their wedding rings on, and they are still cheating. Okay, yeah, they are still carrying on with extramarital affairs, even with their rings on their fingers. So where is the significance, in the ring then? I mean, if you break your vow of exclusivity to someone else, but you're still carrying, the ring around, its symbol. So what exactly, what exactly shows that you are committed to this person? Is it the ring now? Because the ring is in your hand, yet you are doing whatever you like. Okay, so I want to agree with Mogashiji in that area, that the significance really is in the vows that are made. But then again, like I have said, the ring symbolizes that commitment that you make to each other. So if there is there's a couple, in a particular situation, maybe they have a conflict, and one of them removes their ring. So we would assume that they always wear their ring, their rings, to show that, again, to symbolize their commitment, to one another. There are a lot of people who don't even wear their rings now, and the heavens won't fall. And it does not negate, the commitment that they made to one another. Okay, so if the spouse the aggrieved spouse removes the ring. Well, yeah, in a way, it's like communicating something like, oh, okay, I'm taking off the symbol. You can have your ring. That shows that the person is probably saying, I'm no longer interested, in this marriage or anything like that. I mean, yeah, if you return a ring, an engagement ring, for instance, it simply shows that that engagement don't pafuka something like that. So yes, returning a ring or throwing the ring out, yes, it's like trying to pass a message that, okay, I'm stepping out of this relationship. I know they do again. Yeah, but then again, it's just, it's a symbol. I don't think that the ring itself holds the significance, to the marriage. I think the vows are more important than the rings. That's what I think. But hey, I mean, I love rings, so I mean, I'm good. I'm good with rings. I go with rings any day. Sure.
So, what's the significance of the ring? I must say, the wedding ring is an emblem of love. It's a symbol of devotion and agreement between two parties to love and cherish one another for the rest of their life. It's just a symbol, and I must even say, it is not everybody that puts on ring. Like for instance, I don't wear it, and when my church don't use ring, we use Bible. And the engagement ring I had to remove it after some time. I started having children. It's no longer my size. I've added some flesh, so I have to remove it. So it's not everybody that puts on ring. So ring should not determine the extent of, or should not determine, or should not affect the vow, so to say. So ring should not affect the vow they have for each other. And when a man removes ring, send the message that there is trouble. We are used to ring and they just remove it. It shows that something is fitching somewhere. Maybe the man is cheating. No, that was even then. Then gone are the days when the man wants to cheat, you have to remove the ring to do his thing. But now, even some married men, you see them with ring, they'll still go ahead and cheat on their wife. But may God help us concerning that. So the man removing that ring, it may not be it's done with the marriage. It could be maybe he just wants to show the wife that no, what you did, I'm not okay with it. I'm not happy with it. Just to show his annoyance. Sure you get. So it may not necessarily be that it's done with the marriage. Thank you.
Okay, this is a very interesting one, Cynthia. The question on the significance of this ring, and I'm glad that AY and SGD have actually touched on some of the things that I wanted to say. But I want to shock you. Are you aware that there is no country in the entire world that has the ring as one of the important elements of marriage? So that's to tell you that even in Nigeria, you do not require having to exchange a ring to marry anywhere, not even in the courts, in the registry, I mean. So if you go to the registry, for instance, as a couple, they ask you, do you have rings? So why do they ask you if it was supposed to be a requirement? They don't need to ask you. So if you do not intend to use rings, then they ask you if you are Muslims, they might ask you if you prefer to use the Bible or the Quran, depending on what your faith is. For people who do not even share either the biblical faith, I mean Christianity, sorry, and or Islam, they are even made to do their vows with other means. Sometimes it may mean that they cross their hearts. Sometimes it may mean that they raise their right hands, more like someone is doing a pledge or something. So having the rings is more of a culture rather than an essential thing. So for whether it is significant or not, I still maintain that it is insignificant. For this purpose, for the purpose of this discussion, actually, the man removing his ring, the man may be trying to pass a message. Probably he's done with the marriage or something. Yes, he may be passing this message to his wife in this manner because he knows that the wife is somebody who holds the ring as a very, very important element in their marriage. But for someone like me, if my wife does that, I just move close to her and give her a hug. Seriously, I would not think that has signaled the end, because if the ring is something that signals the end or the beginning of a marriage, then there will be no need for filing divorce papers officially if the need arises. So in this case, it might have been significant in their relationship because of what they hold as their own values. But I can tell you that officially, nowhere in the world is the ring recognized. So if they give you a list of what you require for your marriage at any registry, nobody counts the ring.
Thank you so much, Ayotunde, Temi, and Mr. Shijoade for your clarification and explanation. I believe the significance I was referring to, which I think AY, Ayotunde, and Mr. Shijoade echoed, was that if you and your spouse have placed sort of importance on the ring, or if you know that your spouse places an importance on the ring, you taking off the ring or you throwing the ring, as was done in this situation, would definitely hurt the person more. But if you have a spouse like Mr. Shijuali that has said that if his wife, takes off a ring or whatever, he wouldn't, count it. He wouldn't see it as something that is very important or something, he wouldn't read more meaning into it. But if you know that your spouse is that kind of person that would read, further meaning into it, then of course it will be timed as probably more than maybe what you might be intending to pass across. Or it just depends on what importance you guys place on the ring. Now regarding the marital rape that we mentioned, I remember that I just loosely said that I wasn't sure that the federal that Nigeria recognized the marital rape, and I think kind of it's not the Violence Against Persons Act recognizes marital rape as violence against another person, of course. So I guess it will be covered under that violence against the other person. Unfortunately, since that act was brought up, I think about 5 years ago, only some states have adopted and domesticated it. So it still is. It still isn't, which is a shame. If you ask me, a law such as that should not take time for it to be adopted and adapted into the different legal systems in the states. But this is Nigeria, so you know things take long for us, or if at all they take effect, it takes a while for them to take effect. And also is the fact that even as least as at today, I believe that it is even still hard to prove, or for the court system to the legal system to accept that a man can as well be raped. And this is the 21st century. But anyways, these discussions are for another for another time. And there's just a lot of other discussions that need to be had around this kind of issues. But that's by the way, I just wanted to mention that. So with this, we are drawing to the close of the episode. And we've discussed so many things today. We've discussed about sex or romance amongst couples. If do you stick to the traditional, or let's bedroom, marital bed, confined to the bedroom kind of sexual life, or do you explore? And if you explore, do you have off limits areas? If you have children, where do you put your children, or how do you cater for your children? And then we brought up a scenario that played out on social media where a I mean one husband wanted to have sex with his wife in her office, and she didn't want it and just turned it to something else, and he was embarrassed, and it involved him straining his ring and not coming home and all of that. And then we discussed that, led us to talk about consent between married people, and then that was what led us to discuss marital rape and all of that. And then so far I've had a wonderful time on this episode, and I believe that our guests as well have had such wonderful time. I want to say a very, very big thank you to um Temi of SDG Cakes, as well as Mr. Shijuade, for yet again granting us audience and giving us his time, and chatting with us. Also, shout out to Ayotunde, thank you so much. And then shout out as well to Adenike. We missed you today, and definitely hope that we would have you much later on. I believe that this episode marks the end of this season. Wow, this is the end. This is the last episode of this season. We've had a wonderful time for the last few episodes, bringing you into our G circle, and we hope that you've had as much fun listening to us as we have had recording. We definitely appreciate every single person that has viewed each of our episodes, and we look forward to seeing your comments. If you have any comments on anything we've discussed today, or anything that we've discussed in previous episodes, please leave us a comment on our Instagram page. Our Instagram page is at Gist Arena with a double A. So it's an arena. The arena ends with a double A. I don't think I like to say Gist Arena A. So something like that. Yeah. So leave us a comment there. Would love to read from you. Would love to hear what your opinions about anything that we've discussed so far. So good. And if you would like us to talk about a particular thing in the following season, please do well to also leave us topic suggestions, and we are open to welcoming new new ideas or new topics, just something that you'd like us to talk about. So thank you so much for listening to us from today's episode, from this season. It's me saying thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Gist Arena. We hope you enjoyed the topic discussed. Please drop your comments and let us know what you think about it. We'll definitely love to hear from you. Until next time, bye!